Alright guys, how's it going? My name is Gian, and on this episode of Funker Tactical, we have something really special for you. Something that I believe to be of historical significance. What we have are Jared Wihangi from Pikiti Tursha Kali. We have Ray Dionaldo from FCS Kali, and our very own Doug Markaida from Funker Tactical and Markaida Kali. Now the significance of this is that these guys have never met together in one place to discuss the very thing that they're passionate about and that they've dedicated their lives to. We're talking, of course, about the Filipino martial arts. Kali, Arnis, Eskrima, whatever you want to call it. I know this is a long video and I'm making it even longer right now, but this is a video worth watching. If you're a fan of the martial arts, if you're a fan of FMA, or if you're a fan of the individuals in this video, you owe it to yourself to please take a moment. This isn't one of those super quick videos that you digest in 15 seconds. This is a sit down. This is a popcorn on the couch. I'm going to take my time to listen to a very important message. And without further ado, here it is, guys. Doug Markaida, Jared Wihangi, and Ray Dionaldo talking about the state of FMA today. Enjoy. What is it about you, or what is it about the Filipino martial arts that these special forces units gravitate to?
Last weekend I was with a SWAT team in Seoul, Korea, and they're really looking for Kali instruction, and there's, like you said, there's a lot of that kind of thing going around the world, and I think a lot of it is because they can see they're looking for something that has application and is relevant. You know, there's not any strict tradition that says we can't teach outside of this box. We can apply things to what they need. They see the realism in the art. They see that it's very combat effective. I mean, the knife aspect of it, not just the application of the knives, but defenses against edge weapons is really a big, I think, attraction to them. But also they can just see that it's we apply it to real world situations. It's not you look at the environment that this art comes from. It comes from a part of the world where people. It's not an art of the past. It's things that people use today, in self-defense situations, and so it's stayed relevant through the years. Hasn't been bound by strict rules of tradition, and is very combat effective. Yeah.
I think the ability to adapt, overcome, and improvise as a methodology of training and teaching. We automatically do this with our weapons, and it's the way we teach it, and we have a history of its proven use.
And just like Doug said, the thing that has given us the ability to work with different agencies, law enforcement, military, and civilian as well, is the same thing that allowed us to survive for the last 2,000 years. Our ability to adapt to whatever situation comes. A lot of people say it's not traditional, but you know what? 2,000 years, we predate some of the oldest systems out there, and that is our tradition, is adaptability.
Where is FMA now? I mean, is it bigger than it's ever been? Is it at its peak?
I don't know if I'd say it's at its peak. I would say more it's coming to its own. It's been around for millenniums, but now people are just starting to hear about it.
And I would say the same thing. I don't think it's hit its peak. I think it's going there, and it's getting the notoriety that it should have had for a long time. And I think it's time to kind of really bring it to the forefront and showcase what the art has to offer.
What's taken it so long to get here?
Everybody looks at me. Okay. Up until this generation, a lot of the Filipino martial arts have been passed from father to son and kept within specific families or within villages. It's only this particular last maybe 30 years that it's actually been allowed to be taught outside to other people.
That's kind of 20 years ago I was living in the provinces of central Luzon, and I lived in different towns, and every time I would say, hey, is there anyone that teaches Filipino martial arts here? And it was always, well, there's this old guy, he teaches in his backyard, we can hear the stick sometimes, but he only chooses who he wants to teach. And I think that kind of closed nature of the art has been one of the reasons it's taken so long. But I think there's a lot more openness now with the art, and it's getting the recognition that it deserves.
So are these old timers, do they look at you and be like, what the hell are you guys doing? This is, this needs to stay here. Do you get that?
I don't think so. Not in today's world where media and the informational highway is really exposed to everything. There are no secrets anymore. You want to watch anything, Google it. You want to look at anything, just YouTube it. And I think that in the old days you may try to hide it, but the world now is so small that we're sharing everything. Everything becomes a hybrid of something.
You know, you see a lot of the arts that have people's names on them. So a lot of people are, I think the old timers are very protective of the art, and because they've got a vested interest that comes from their families, but at the same time they're more open to sharing it, and it's getting out there.
I've been living in the Philippines for maybe the last 6 months, and training with a lot of the old timers. They're starting to realize that if they don't actually let their art out a little bit, that it's going to die and just disappear. So they're starting to let loose a little bit and allow it to be taught outside of their family.
Is there still a lot of divisiveness within the different factions of FMA? I mean, we see that pretty much in every martial art. I imagine it's there too.
Definitely, without a doubt. There's always this idea of competition among each other. This is one of the reasons why I'm really excited that I'm here and now with these two gentlemen who I think have the right attitude. And it's a new breed. The new breed meaning these guys on their own are really great practitioners, but they're also positive, charming, great ways of presenting the art. But it's all about, we're not in competition with each other. We appreciate each other for what we are. I mean, that's it.
It's such a broad art that I'm never going to be able to do what these guys what they do, and at the same time there's things that I teach that people like, and so I think there's so much to the art that there's a lot that different instructors have to offer, and so it's a very broad art with a lot of subsystems and a lot of depth to the arts also, so there's just so much to it.
Yeah, we don't just bring the art to the table, we bring our life experience. So everything that we contribute helps to uplift all of us as a whole.
Anything to add to that?
Yeah, it's just that, the exciting thing that we're trying to bring out also is where Filipino martial arts is today compared to before. We're in the Blade Show. Each and every one have our own booths. They have our own knife designs. With the tactical world, we are the most respected, I guess, in the knife world. We're walking over here, it felt like a Filipino martial arts convention, because this is who we are. But to be able to showcase and let them know that we are respected in what we do. We are sought out by many of the special forces and the best military worlds, all over the world. We are sought after by law enforcement because of what we are. At the same time, I think that this is our time to really come out and say, okay, this is what we do. This is who we are, rather than being kept in our backyards. It's the only way to give FMA its true respect. I mean, it's time for us to to come out to the woodworks and be known.
Yeah, and I've been in different capacities attending these, SHOT Show, Blade Show for a good 10 years now almost, and I really enjoy seeing when it comes to weaponry, whether it's batons or knives, that when people are looking for someone to really represent their brand, they look to Filipino martial artists. I mean, you have a hard time finding anything outside of that category to really have any legitimacy when it comes to blade arts, and again, like I've seen the same thing in the tactical baton arts also.
The status of FMA in the Philippines isn't where it should be, right?
I think it can be better.
Yeah,
I think it definitely be better. And I think we're getting there.
Yeah.
Ray's already moving over there. That's one step done, right?
Oh, you're moving.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Well, he's there a lot, at least.
Okay.
Jared's there all the time. Me, I'm not allowed back into the country, but I will one day ask to be allowed back in. No, I think it can be definitely better. One of the things is, I think that a lot of the things that we need in the Philippines is to have these role models instead of celebrities who just dance or sing or everything else. How about having this gentleman as a role model? I mean, he's definitely got a lot to show. He's a great communicator. He's got skills to implore to our people that are from our ancestry. I mean, he should be a role model back home. He's living there. That's who should be on the billboards.
And I think there's, whether people will admit it or not, there's a little bit of a I guess you could call it class system in the Philippines, and a lot of the true masters are provincianos. They're from the areas that are, sometimes people that are from the upper echelon sometimes might look down on that class, and so I think, getting more people in that the Manila areas and the Makati areas and these areas where people are maybe from, and I had to use the word class. I don't know how to describe it, but role models from their same areas that are, you know, and we have them here. You know, these guys are doing great things. Filipinos that that are doing great things to be good role models for the Filipino martial arts.
What's the future hold for FMA, guys?
I think it's bright. I mean, look, I'm with
Sky's the
these
limit.
guys today. I think we're heading in the right direction, and because I think our passions now brought us here together, and I think there's really a reason why God put us together. I think that what's going to happen is magic soon, and it's happening now.
Is that a hint at something? Like,
There is going to be a collaboration to bring it to the forefront, at least to be recognized. I want these guys recognized for all the great things they've done. We have to, once again, to be proud of something, you got to know what to be proud of. And I'm excited to watch what these guys are doing. And
I'm just happy to be standing next to these guys. These guys are role
Exactly.
models for me.
So you see that energy that we have right now, we got to share that. So we got to find a way to actually bring it out to everybody else, so everybody can see what it is we're talking about.
We got some cool things we're talking about in the works, and like, you know, like Doug's saying, we need to put this art where it really deserves to be in the worldwide scheme of things in the martial arts world. So yeah, we've got some cool things that we've been discussing.
well, I think you guys are doing absolutely amazing things. You know, I've heard of you guys before I knew of you. So certainly the information is out there. And you guys are doing amazing things. So, you know, on behalf of the community, thank you guys for doing that. Well, what do you say back to the community?
Well, for me, guys, thanks very much for watching, supporting our channel. You do the likes, you subscribe to our stuff. These guys have their websites. I mean, we're going to try to feature them in our channel now. We're going to bring a family. We're going to be able to bring you a channel. We're in the works of a plan to make it accessible to everybody that loves what we do. And just keep looking and stay tuned.
Right, to your students, to your family, to your fans.
My fans. Oh. Yeah, just stay tuned. You know, things are happening. I see a bright future for the Filipino martial arts. One of the first things that we have to do for the Philippines is we have to change the people's opinion of their own art. You know, let them know how special it really is. And you know, these guys have done a great job, you know, promoting that, and the Filipinos are starting to see it now. So they're starting to change their opinion, and little by little it's starting to come to the forefront in all forms of media.
You know, I would say to my student, my students, like, I always just call them my friends, and because that's what they really are. You know, thanks for being supportive. Guys are always, I love working with all my students, no matter what the country is. Everyone's just great. They're always good to me, and very enthusiastic learners. And so just hold on to that art, keep progressing, and big things are happening for it. So, you know, glad that you guys are part of it.
Where do we learn more about you, Jared?
Well, I've got a website that kind of it's a new one. It's jaredwehongi.com, and I kind of direct to the different things that I have my hands in on there. And teampikiti.com is the other one that's directly involved with the Pikiti Tertia Tactical Association. Yeah.
Ray, where do we find you, man?
FCSKali.com, also FCSKaliPhilippines.com, and also on Facebook.
Cool. Doug, let's wrap it up, man.
Well, you can find me on americasmostwanted.com, mercaidekali.com, or dougmercaide.com. We'll connect that. It's not even somewhere there. Guys, thank you very much. You know, I think that we're going to leave you hanging, bro. Ray, Fali. Thank you very much, guys. And
Thank you.
Stay tuned, guys. I think big things are coming soon.
All right. Thanks for sharing, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Take care.
Well, thank you, guys.
Yeah.
You know?
Thanks. Good to finally meet you. Kid always talks about you, so he really thinks highly
Yeah,
of you. So.
every time when they talk about it, I'm like, I'm jealous. Look at that.
If you could have, for no other reason, but just to have them listen and be part of this conversation, and they could magically appear like that, who would you bring?
Yeah, there's a lot that could, but because we are all, there's one good friend that we all have in common. For me, it would be my good friend Mandala Kitlasenas.
Okay.
I'd bring my wife in here because
He's trying to make me feel bad now. This guy. I'd bring a puppy
I
dog.
would. Without her, I couldn't do any of this. Without her,
But he's
I
right.
couldn't.
He's right.
I really
That's a good
couldn't.
man right there.
All right.
So.
Okay, no wives involved now.
Okay, no wives involved.
Yeah.
One of my truest member, Jun Derion. He's been a great influence in my life, both not just in martial but in leading the way. But there's so many. There's the maestro, and a lot of people have been good to me. So it's hard to pick one because you don't want to say, oh, why him and not everybody else. But my teachers who have been my life mentors, I wish they were here too to share this.
We're talking living or dead?
Take your
Good
pick.
one. I would have to say one of my old instructors, Professor Remy Presas, because without him I wouldn't be here. Yeah, I almost gave it up one time, and he just basically pulled me out of the gutter and told me you got to keep going. So.
All right.
And I want to add one more thing. Since we're giving a homage to our instructors, I wouldn't be anywhere near where I am today with my instructor, Grand Tuhon Leo Gahe. So he's as far as mentors go, that would be mine. As far as like just the conversation that we're having right now, would be my good friend Mandala Kitasena. So.
Okay. All right, guys.
Oh, yeah, and that's the cool thing. We have a common friend with Kit, and we have a common teacher with Kwantuan.
Kit's the bridge that ties you three, I guess,
we
right?
all have a close relationship with him, so he's
I have to meet this guy. I got to meet him one day.
you do.
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
All right, guys. Thank you for sharing again. All right. I'll leave you two guys to it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.